Okay, so we're doing this.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome to what episode? We're on episode 3 of the podcast. So, welcome to episode 3 of Is This
Welcome to
Entertainment?
episode 3. Is this entertainment?
Yeah, we're doing this the vid style.
Yes, we have officially succumbed to the COVID protocols.
Yeah, the beer virus has quarantined us. And
That's right.
We are alone with our Mandalorian coffee spiked.
I got my R2 shirt on.
Spiked with rum.
Nice. Only person in Kentucky who doesn't drink. Right here.
Congratulations! We stopped drinking. Like when the vid first hit, we were drunks all of a sudden. And we never drink. And I was drinking every night. I couldn't deal with it. The news was just too depressing. And then finally, I just stopped watching it. Life's so much better when you don't watch the news.
Oh, 100%. When I when everything went nuts, I started working out every day. Because I also lost my job, and I was like, hey, I'm going to have to do some of the things to make sure that I stay happy. So I started working out every day and cooking all my own meals and stuff like that. And I got in decent shape, I would say, for myself. I would say I was in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And then July came through, and I was like, man, I'm tired. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to pick up this PlayStation 3 that I haven't touched in years. And it's been great.
Yeah.
So now I'm back to, I grew a gigantic beard and then got rid of it because I thought I was going to get a job. And then those people were like, thanks, but no thanks. So I was like, well, I guess I can grow my beard back out.
Oh, that's my mic. I'm like, what is this? That's my microphone. What is this shot? Jesus. Pop filter. Who needs that? Maybe I need
Come
a pop
on.
filter. I was going to say something else. And now I fucking forgot. I was distracted by my own pop filter. Oh, what I was going to say was about working out. I've inspired myself from looking at myself in the first podcast, which we did a video version of. I started working out based on too many chins and
Nice.
and poor posture. So
Now I'm trying to sit up straight because of the first video.
Yeah.
I was just lounging. I got the man spreading going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
not a great look.
Well,
Thanks,
you look better than me. Yeah.
Hey, no, you look great.
No, it's just the lighting. What are we talking about? Mandalorian. Oh my god.
Mandalorian. We got episodes 3 and 4.
So chapter 11 is the third episode.
Yes,
Of
the
season
Heiress.
Titled The Heiress because of Bo-Katan. And for those of you that follow along in the Clone Wars, then you hopefully know Bo-Katan. Ben is still catching up.
I looked ahead. I peeked ahead on the episode list, and I'm 3 or 4 episodes away from Bo-Katan. But
Okay.
am I correct in saying that Katie Sackhoff does the voice on the show, and then she shows up as the actual person?
Yes. Everybody is super.
That's the synergy that I love to see from Dave Filoni and the gang over at Star Wars
I think
Land.
everyone's super happy about that. Except I've heard a little bit of disgruntledness about people saying that she didn't age enough because she looks the same as she does in the cartoon.
Gotcha.
But for me...
this is... Well, what do we know about how Mandalorians age?
Right. And also she should be in the 40 or 50 year age, and she could be a smooth aging 40 or 50-year-old, and she also could have, I can't talk about it because Ben isn't caught up yet, but there could be another thing that happens, another reason that she hasn't aged, because she hasn't.
Was frozen in carbonite,
and then sure, she was frozen in carbonite.
The aging process.
Yeah, wait till Ben's mind gets melted. You have 3 more seasons of Clone Wars and then Rebels to get caught up.
Yeah. Well, the good news about the end of Clone Wars is that it goes from being 22 episodes a season to 13. So that'll.
It's a lot. And you know what? There's you can skip the episodes that are side tangents. There's some.
Not gonna. I'm gonna watch those droids save the day.
Yeah, when I watched Rebels, if it was about Chopper, I was done. I just skipped it. There's a droid. It's a droid, and there's a whole episode with him just doot, 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 and you could
Yeah.
just skip that. If you're a kid, I'm sure you like it.
Hey, you know, like I said in the last Star Wars episode, this is for children. We just happen to be middle-aged men also watching.
Who are also children.
Who are
Oh,
also
that's what you were
children.
gonna say.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
I kind of beg to differ, though. I mean, the Mandalorian stuff, it's getting serious, man.
Yeah, no, Mandalorian is that's you know, if I had a 12-year-old, if I had a 10-year-old, I'd let them watch. I think so.
Yeah, but it's still, it's like you said. I mean, a kid can understand it, but I think there's like, as you get older, you watch it, there's more you can see.
Yeah, definitely.
This is amazing. This is I don't even know. This is made from a flower in Thailand,
What?
and yeah. So
Wait,
it's like
so you're drinking tea or coffee?
both. So this is like
What?
this is like a drink that they make in Thailand. It's like they take a flower and then they boil it in water. And
Okay.
they make it like kind of like tea. It's kind of like a Kool-Aid situation. And then they add like a cup of sugar to it, and it's
All
like
right.
this delicious organic Kool-Aid situation you got. It's amazing.
Huh. So there's no actual coffee in it.
Not this cup, but in this cup, there's coffee with a
Oh,
little
double
bit of,
dipping.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
wanted to have
Which
both.
one has the bourbon in it?
This one,
So it's the coffee with bourbon, and then it's flower tea on its own.
flower tea. Yes, yeah. I'm so happy that this is working, and that I'll be able to do this from Thailand.
So yeah, the I feel like this Eris episode was like hella action packed. You get to see 3 Mandalorians aside from the Mandalorian kicking butt, taking names. They save him from the random fisherman guy out in the middle of the sea, and then they're like, "Hey, help us out with this, with this side mission, which is becoming, the formula of the show, to go take over this former Imperial ship and mess up Titus Welliver's day." And there wasn't a whole lot as far as like exposition or anything. The baby Yoda was chilling with the fish or with the frog people, which I gotta say, dangerous for those eggs. Luckily, it seems like they managed. But yeah, and then I would say my favorite part of the episode was Mandalorian meeting some other Mandalorians and them taking their helmet off and basically completely blowing his mind. So he meets the fisherman dude, and they're like, "Hey, I'll take you to
Fix
another
your boat.
Mandalorian."
I thought, okay, well, first they're gonna fix his boat or ship.
Right. Oh yeah, he's got to get his ship fixed because it's all
It's
jacked up.
wrecked. Yeah, and then
And then this guy's like, "I'll show you where a Mandalorian is." They go off, to sea, and then turns out it was all a ruse for him to steal his armor.
Yeah,
by
and
throwing
this
him
is what
inside that
happened.
Giant.
The child is in the pod, and the guy just kicks him, just flat out into
Oh
the,
right, yeah, he does go
into
for
the
that
sea
part.
monster. I don't know how he let that happen, how Mando let that happen, because it seemed like
Yeah,
there was a
that
second
was-
where he could have stopped him, maybe, but
That was intensely aggressive.
Yeah.
for sure.
kick this baby in here so I can
Right.
attack you and take your armor. So we're realizing this armor is incredibly valuable, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's walking. It's like walking around with a bunch of gold chains on. Like you obviously got it going on, and you got some money in the bank. But is it the
Yeah.
smartest thing to do?
I mean, on one hand, it's like, if you don't let go of that armor, nobody's gonna be able to really mess with you. That armor's taking a lot of blaster fire. Doesn't compromise.
Now, in
So
season
I can
one,
see why it's so valued.
In season 1, wasn't there a part where like she was repairing the armor that was already damaged? Like it does get damaged. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it does get damaged. I just think it takes some
It's
serious
just
firepower.
incredibly strong. And what's weird about this is like they didn't really examine that in any of the Clone Wars. They're just like, oh, by the way, this armor's super strong. Like, well, what about all the Clone Wars with when they get shot up and I don't, maybe it's just a little bit of an inconsistency in the storytelling.
It could also be a function of the amount of time that's lapsed. It's at this point they've gone through the entire Imperial world, like the Imperial timeline. Maybe it was more abundant during the Clone Wars, and then as time went on and the Empire consolidated stuff and sounds like Mandalorians are pretty dispersed. So maybe it's a situation where
Yeah, but you see
it's the
what I'm
scarcity of
getting
the
at.
thing.
What I'm getting at is you see Mandalorians fighting in Clone Wars, and they get shot, and they go down. Like the armor doesn't
Right.
just ricochet bullets or lasers or whatever, or blaster fire. Excuse me, I forgot what universe we're in. So I don't know. There seems to be an inconsistency with the armor, but I still like that he has it. It's kind of cool seeing a guy that like. He should be dead, but his armor, he's not the greatest fighter. He gets his ass
Oh yeah,
kicked.
no, he gets his butt kicked all the time. The armor really does help out a lot.
So the child gets knocked into the sea monster. The sea monster grabs the child, and then
Mandalorian jumps in. One thing this definitely highlights for me is that you and I have terrible memories.
yeah, I'm starting to learn that, and that's why I'm taking a memory pill, but I keep forgetting to take it.
Oh, that's great.
So apparently ashwagandha or ashwagandha or whatever that herb is supposed to really help with your memory and
Oh, ashwagandha.
Yeah, you got it. Mandalorian jumps after the child. There you go. Metal trap door over the opening, trapping the Mandalorian. They intend to steal Jaren's armor and use pikes to force him underwater, hoping to drown him. Before the whatever can finish him, several Mandalorians with jetpacks descend on the deck and fight the Quarren, killing them. And the female Mandalorian opens the trap door and pulls Jaren to safety. He tells her that the Mama Core has taken the child. She jumps into the water while her two comrades help Jaren.
So it's Bo-Katan who kills the sea beast.
Right. So he was just like underwater there, trapped. So what we're saying here is that he was
These
saved.
three new Mandalorians saved the day.
He was saved again by an outside force.
Yeah.
Just in time. So this is the introduction to Bo-Katan. And as we know, he's excited to see some new Mandalorians, but to his surprise, they don't follow the same rule. What do you think about that?
I've seen enough of the Clone Wars now to know that the Death Watch wing of Mandalorians have kind of built their own deal, and then you've got the regular Mandalorians, I guess, who aren't as hardcore as the Death Watch people, and that's cool.
Yeah, I think
they
it's
seem to be a little bit more chill, and I dig that.
Yeah, it's not just that there's like two groups of Mandalorians. There's several clans, right?
Oh, word.
Yeah. Bo-Katan used to be in Death Watch. There's like another sect of Death Watch called the Watch. So everything just sort of gets sected off or whatever. And then she
Gotcha.
changed clans. But there are several clans, and so she's trying to unite all of the clans. That's her mission.
Ah.
Yeah. Whereas Mando is just discovering this. Yeah.
So yeah, I like the idea of him kind of, because he was an outsider to the Mandalorians. His planet got destroyed, and they picked him up and taught him the ways. So then, yeah, it's kind of cool that he's finding out that there's more to the story than what he knows, and that's cool.
So we'll go from there. So they show up, and then he goes on a mission. He leaves the child somewhere.
With the frog lady.
With the frog
The
lady.
frog couple.
Right.
Yeah.
So we get to see
And
the frog
everybody
lady.
was concerned about the eggs.
Yeah, we get to see them again, and they're doing pretty good. And of course, he has a mission because he's on a new planet.
Well,
and,
yeah, that and
he wants to
and
learn
she said,
where.
yeah,
that's
she
right.
said where.
Where Ahsoka
Yeah,
is.
she said where a Jedi would be.
He's trading that information for helping them out. And
Right. Yeah. So it was cool kind of seeing like some remnants of the Empire again, still kind of floating out there.
Yeah, and we learned that these remnants of the Empire are the same remnants controlled by Moff Gideon as well.
So bringing Moff Gideon back into the fold, which is great. I'm for it. Dude's amazing.
So also we did learn, I guess, a few episodes ago, the Mando's name is it? Am I right? Is it
It's like Jin
Jaren.
Jardine or something like that.
Jaren? It's weird. Like he doesn't know any of this. Jake. He doesn't know what's going on. So it's good that he finds Bo-Katan, who kind of has an idea of who the Jedi are, and he's been flying in the dark the whole time, which is why the whole first season he didn't take his mask off. He didn't know anybody else took his mask off, and if you were just watching the show, you wouldn't know that there were Mandalorians that took their mask off from another show. So they go onto the ship and to get these weapons, and then all of a sudden Bo-Katan changes the deal on him and says, "Oh, we don't just want the weapons; we want to take the whole ship."
I'm fine with that. Like, it wasn't like a huge double cross or anything crazy like that. I thought it was just another plot point.
Just another plot
you know?
point. I don't know. I mean,
Just
it's just
another
like
plot point.
it's got to make it to where he doesn't like 100% trust her. Not that he did anyway, but it's got to leave like a sore taste in his mouth. But then there was that scene where he was like, "Fuck it." I guess maybe their armor's not as strong as his or something, because he decided to. The ship's going down, and they need to get through that door, and there's troopers there, and he's like, "I'll just freaking go because I'm bulletproof." Ooh,
Yeah, it was an
and-
action-packed episode. I liked it. The dialogue or whatever was or like, the scenes that moved the plot, wasn't a whole lot of them. They were dense enough to make it worth it, but
Because he could have left, right? Like when she changed the deal, he could have just took off and like flew out the back or whatever. So like,
right. Well,
was,
he still needs the information that she has, though.
yeah, that's true. So she kind of had him by the Beskar. And
There you go. There it is.
that's where I get weird. Like where it gets weird about the Beskar. Like, is their Beskar weaker or something? Why didn't they just charge? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. For me, it didn't translate as like his armor was more hardcore than theirs. It was more of just like he was willing to just jump in and do the thing that needed to be done.
yeah, because there was like a little pause, like an uncomfortable pause there, where they're like just sitting around. You know, like who's gonna go? Yeah.
How are we gonna get out of this one?
So I mean, I'm glad he did it. It just was like a little bit long. Like they could have just all went. You know, if they all had that armor that's bulletproof. So it just makes me wonder if like maybe theirs isn't as bulletproof as his. Like maybe
Yeah,
this is more.
or maybe he just has more of it. Like, as maybe they just have like a chest shield and like some shoulder pads.
yeah, there's
and
definitely
they
looks
don't have,
light. It looks lighter, but I mean they still
Yeah,
have it.
because I mean, even like when you look at the Boba Fett stuff,
Yeah, it's
like
way
his
lighter,
armor,
yeah.
it's way light on Beskar, and it's just it's how Mandalorian looked in those first couple episodes.
Yeah, he's definitely more decked out now. So yeah, I guess
Yep.
that makes sense. So he just goes in. He's got the decked out armor. He's not really afraid of shit. So he just goes and wrecks him. And the pilot, or no, he's not the pilot, but the what is his cap? What is the guy's
The
name?
captain,
The captain of the
I
ship.
don't know.
He decides
I
to
know
go
the
down.
actor's name. I don't know the
Yeah, he just like blasts the stormtroopers and goes down with the ship. Kills himself somehow.
bites a cyanide pill or a
Yeah,
shock himself pill or something. And,
Cyanide tooth pill thing.
right.
Yeah,
Like-
those come in handy, man. You got to have your cyanide tooth. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's a thing I would put in. Like, like, hey, we want you to have this just in case you get captured. You want to have this cyanide. Like, what if it leaks? Just
Yeah.
you bite down too hard on a piece of popcorn and you're done.
You're like, oh, do you have to have one of your teeth surgically removed?
Yeah,
To
or
put
do they
in
just add it
this
on?
fake tooth?
Or, yeah, that's
Right. Yeah. Is it just a cap that goes over top?
that's
Or is it like,
what
oh, well,
if you're-
you got to get a cavity filled anyway.
Yeah,
so
or
let's
what if
just-
you're sleeping and you grind your teeth when you sleep? I mean, you just kill yourself.
Let's get some old school spies on the show.
Yeah.
And just kind of talk it out.
If
See we can
if
find-
anybody has some knowledge of how these things
Yes.
work,
If anybody listening happens to know about the ins and outs of cyanide pills, this is specifically cyanide pills that are part of your dental apparatus, hit us up at isthisentertainment.com. Give us a comment.
okay. So the ship goes down, and
Ship goes down.
They save it, blah blah blah, and then they have the talk. And Bo-Katan, is that when she takes off her hat? So she takes off her helmet, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like freaking the f out, like freaking out.
Oh yeah. Even though he's wearing a mask, you can tell he is not okay with
Yeah,
what
he's
just
like-
happened. You're not Mandalorians. Now I know this. And she's like, not so fast there, Slick.
Yeah, you're in a
We're,
cult, bro.
we're
bro.
more Mandalorian than
You're,
you are.
You're in Scientology. You're fucked
Yeah.
up, bro.
You're in Heaven's Gate. You're wearing Nikes. You got a shroud. Listening
Yeah.
to Doe. Actually, that's not true. He's not even in the compound. He just bought some Nikes and a shroud, and he's off doing his own thing. Did I take it too far?
I honestly, I don't really know about Heaven's Gate, so I'm sure somebody's at home is laughing
Who knows?
or crying.
So she then drops, the knowledge on him. Hey, you need to go to the whatever system, to the whatever planet, in this city, and the whatever planet, and then you're going to go see Ahsoka Tano. she's like drops all of that in one like little phrase of a sentence. And my wife immediately was like, I hope he's got a recorder in his mask because I'd have to write all that down. And I agree. That was a lot. That was a big dump of information.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he asked first where Ahsoka was, I think is what happened, and then she takes the helmet off.
You know, for someone who's actively watching the Clone Wars, I was like, heck yeah. I mean, I knew Ahsoka Tano was going to show up because I knew
The internet.
Rosario Dawson got cast as that character. And that's ultimately what led me to go back and finish watching the Clone Wars.
And I'm so glad you're watching it because you're going to be so happy when you catch up. I know it's like 1 million episodes to go, and like all of it is in the end of Rebels. I'm really excited about being able to talk about that. So at the end of the episode, he goes back to the Razor Crest, and the fish people effed it up. It's all
Yeah, they basically just like
shoestring.
put a bunch of ratchet straps on it and
Yeah, it's like rope and squid juice.
yeah, WD-40, duct tape. And then we did get to see one of the fertilized frog eggs turn into a tadpole.
We did get to see that. Yeah, he goes back to get the child, and we see tadpole, and it didn't.
And I couldn't tell if he wanted to eat it or not.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
tell if he was like, "Hey, life, I can feel that with the Force," or if he was just like, "I want to eat that."
I don't. Yeah, he definitely seemed a little different toward it. Not the same as toward the eggs, but
Yep.
but not necessarily enough different to be like, does he still not want to eat it, or is he just like, oh, it's moving, but I still want to eat it?
Right. Right.
So yeah,
These are important questions.
I think some people are upset. I mean, there were some people actually upset about the egg situation, which is
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like if that's the last of this race, like he's performing genocide by eating those eggs.
But is he like, he doesn't know? Like it's like eating,
I mean, it's not on purpose,
Yeah.
but it's still not great.
it's like if somebody brought you some chicken eggs and you thought you were just eating chicken eggs, you know what I mean? And but all
Right.
the chickens were dead. You just didn't know. You're still gonna eat the eggs.
But if Mama Chicken was standing right there and was sentient, very protective of said eggs,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
But if you
I'm
were a
just gonna-
child, it's like here.
a child who will eat everything.
Yeah.
Because it ate one of them creepy alien guys.
Yeah, that
in
was gross.
in the egg thing, and
Yeah.
that was creepy.
That was nasty. Picks up the child. He doesn't eat any more eggs, and they take off in the decrepit Razor Crest. He knows he needs to go see Ahsoka, but being his ship is so damaged, I was expecting him to get sidetracked on this journey into the next episode, which is exactly what happened. Chapter 12 is where we're going.
Chapter 12. What's it called? The Siege?
Siege.
Directed by Carl Weathers.
Yeah, Carl Weathers himself directed this.
Actually, well, okay, so the last episode, Chapter 11, The Heiress, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, Ron Howard's daughter.
Yeah, and she directed one of the first season as well. The
Yeah.
episode in the forest with the walker, the creepy walker and stuff on that planet.
Yeah, I'm, Favreau, just bringing in A's, just
Yeah.
A-listers.
Yeah, and
Bringing
I
them
heard
all
that
in.
she even, for one of the scenes, she basically copied frame for frame a shot from Apollo 13 from her father.
Oh, word?
Just the way
Oh, that's
the way the
cool.
ship was flying or something like that.
I'll have to look that up. That's awesome. This new episode, The Siege, yeah, directed by Carl Weathers, so that's cool. Apollo Creed, getting his direct on, so that's cool.
Wait, Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
He's good.
But yeah,
I've seen him in
he's great.
something.
Oh, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Whew, that hurt. Oh man.
Because his company's
Yeah.
called Happy Madison, so it was like melts your mind a little bit.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. No, I thought it was good to go back to that planet where him and
yeah. Navarro is the
oh
planet.
gosh, what's her name?
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune are, and yeah, it's cool. Like they've obviously laid down the law on that planet. Cara Dune and Carl Weathers are right there, and then Carl Weathers orders them dudes to fix up his ship, which, skipping ahead, they do in a remarkably fast amount of time. Like,
Yeah. Whoa, that was really fast. Like,
yeah, I was like, okay, this is a 6-week job at
yeah.
least.
I thought he was going to be
Like-
on the planet for like, a couple more episodes. I was like, oh, maybe Ahsoka is like way later,
Yeah, it was super fast. I think my favorite scene in this episode where Mandalorian's trying to talk Baby Yoda through switching the red wire in the blue socket inside the ship. That was wonderful because it's also like, hey, you know, he's getting a little bit better with language, like just a little bit.
Yeah, he almost
not totally there yet.
Yeah.
But like, what I find interesting is like he's like 50 years old.
That's what's weird. Yeah.
So we're gonna say that he's gonna have like exponential growth in year like 52 and 53. Because I could definitely see this being where, like, at the end of this season, he says, you know, Papa or something. Like, he's going to say some.
How is it?
Write it down. Write it down right now. I'm making a prediction.
All right.
In the last episode, Baby Yoda is going to say a word, maybe even 2 words.
So how do we know? How do we know he's 50 years old?
Somebody said it. I think it was either the scientist guy or Werner Herzog.
Because, like, we know there's some cloning going on. Like, maybe he's 50, but he's not 50. You know what I mean? Like, he's, like, because they speed up the growth of the clones from what I
Right.
understand.
Oh, so maybe if
like-
we're thinking he's a Yoda clone,
He could be, like, fake 50, like, sped up 50.
Yeah.
So which is
Yeah.
why he doesn't know anything.
it's like dog ears.
So that could explain that. Because otherwise, yeah, he should be on top of it. He should be able to understand people by now. I mean, how
Right.
can you be a baby for 50 years? Like, you're not gonna make it.
Hopefully that shit gets explained. Well, yeah, so, you know, he's got his time on his hands because it's going to take evidently a day to
Yeah,
fix his ship.
6 hours.
So Carl Weathers is like, hey, help us, you know, rid this planet of a couple of Imperial dudes.
And so he takes it to the. What did you think about the school? That's interesting. We haven't really seen.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. You know, it further moves the idea that Carl Weathers is making this place a worthwhile place to live.
There was a lot on this episode. This was a heavy episode. This had a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's
here.
a lot going on. We got to see Horatio Sands again.
Horatio!
Yeah.
More random comedy people. I'm for it.
It's so funny. He makes the comment about he still can't see out of his eye or whatever. One of his
Oh
eyes.
yeah, because of the carbonite.
Carbonite. Yeah.
This episode had a lot of like overlay with the original trilogy. I felt
Oh yeah.
that was the carbonite bit. There's him having to like walk out on the narrow pathway to
Yeah.
shut off or to turn off the lava thing, which is very reminiscent of Obi-Wan
Yep.
in the original movie.
And
That panel looks pretty much the same. There's a lot of stormtroopers shooting and missing.
and his comment about there not being any guardrails. It's like what we're all thinking every time we see a scene like this.
Right.
And he's like, hey,
Absolutely.
where's the fucking guardrails?
Where's OSHA? Where's
Yeah.
OSHA at?
I guess you don't need you
Need
don't need
that occupational
guardrails
safety.
in the Empire. I guess they don't.
I guess not.
They don't give two shits if you fall to a lava pit.
It's like, oh, did you hear about Dave? Yeah. Fell off the. No, we should really put in a guardrail. Nah, I put in a petition 3 times, and it keeps getting denied. So we're just gonna have to live
It's
with
just
it.
think about how much money they're saving by not having guardrails.
Oh, definitely.
What did you think about that driving up to the front door of that thing?
Driving up to the front door.
They drove up to the
just
door
like
of the
taking
base.
a speeder up
They're
to
just
the
like,
to the
nah,
door
let's
of
just
the
drive
base.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if they're under the guise of there's only like 4 dudes in here, then yeah, go for it.
But if it's such a threat, why are there only and there's only 4 dudes in there? Why do they care so much? You know what I mean?
Right. Why do they need a third person for this mission? Why couldn't the 2 of them just handle it?
Why do they even have to have the mission at all if there's just 4 dudes?
Give them something to do.
I mean, you want to take it out, then you have nothing to worry about on the planet theoretically. But the problem is, you take it out, they might want to bring some backup.
Right. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, we got to send some people over here because we got to retaliate in kind.
Right. But the Empire's not what it once was. So maybe their line of thinking is makes sense.
Maybe they're stretched too thin.
They've got to be.
They get up to the lab part of the base, and we have a tiny nod to the prequels with our little hologram of the Doctor from the first season, and he basically is talking about he only got a little bit of blood from the baby Yodes, and
The M
and then we
count.
get the M count. The dreaded midi-chlorians.
Yes.
Yes.
And there was so much exposition in this. Like, we just happened to find
Right, we just happened to find the one hologram
the
recording
one transmission.
that explains everything.
So not only, if you may have missed this, not only did they talk about the what did they call him? Did they call him the subject? There was like the subject and another person. So there were two things going on. One was the blood they took from the child, and then two, the subject that's going to have it put in them.
Right.
So
so we're having. I just assumed they were like clones or
no,
just
it was
like
a volunteer.
randoms.
They said a volunteer. So there's something else going on. It's not just those clones in that room. So we saw the clone.
Right. Well, I figured those guys were what are supposed to go into those creepy suits, those Darth Vader-y looking suits that Moff Gideon was standing around at the end.
This actually kind of upset me a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not a midichlorian fan. I think being connected to every living thing, being connected to the universe is enough, and it's just it's just a matter of going within to connect to the Force. But no, you've got to have a higher M count. It's still a little too sciencey for me, but it happens, and maybe it'll be awesome. Maybe it makes sense. Yoda's species maybe are more connected to the Force, and yeah. What did you think about the dudes and containers?
At first I was like, well, this looks like very Darth Vader-y, so that was interesting. I'm intrigued. Well, the other thing is, in this episode we get our X-Wing fella back.
Oh yeah, the guy from what is the show? Is it Kim's Corner? Is that what it is? Something like that.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's something like that. They run a 7-Eleven type joint, and yeah, he's hilarious. Kim's Convenience.
Nice.
I want to go with. He's funny.
So yeah, that dude's back. So it seems like that obviously isn't a thread that's just gonna like disappear. So I think those guys are we got those guys circling. We've got 3 new Mandalorians circling around. Ahsoka Tano's gonna be around at some point. I still think Ming Na is coming back. I could see like a lot of these things all coming together at the end, which would be helpful because if there's 10 of them Darth Vader-y looking suits with Giancarlo, then
with M count clones in them.
Right, then Mandalorian's gonna need some help.
Yeah, I think I think what they're trying to do is very Snoke looking, right? It's very Snokish.
Yeah, I mean, there could be with some of that cloning stuff going on. This could be a could be part of the whole Rise of Skywalker Snoke cloning of the Emperor.
It could be
something else.
I don't know. To me, going forward, like it is connecting the dots, but like I'm still kind of hoping I'm really hoping they change the future. I think it'd be cool.
Change the future.
Change the future. I think they could put Luke in this. Like I've heard rumors that there might be a Luke.
I mean, the potential's there. He's alive.
Just change his path a little bit. Yeah, it's like the direction this show is going. Like we don't know. Like that's what's so weird. We're 4 episodes in, and like we still don't really know where we're going, except that maybe we're going back to Mandalore and taking it back.
Right.
Like that's
and Bo-Katan wants that Darksaber.
So if she gets the Darksaber, she can go back to Mandalore and be the heir. I believe is the way it works. And she's probably going to need Mando's help for that. And so we'll see. It would be a big moment, like you said. But if those dark troopers or whatever they are, I'm assuming they're dark troopers.
It's a great name. Makes sense.
They look like they could wreck shop.
Yeah. What else? What else happened? Oh, there's a tracker on the ship.
Let's see. Who put this tracker on there? What was it?
Bughead fella. One of the super repair guys.
Yeah. So they fixed the ship super fast and put a tracker on the ship.
These guys working overtime.
I imagine they'll get to Ahsoka, and then everybody will show up, and Ahsoka will wreck shop.
I want to see her kick some ace.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder if Moff Gideon is even going to get away from this. Maybe he doesn't go directly.
Yeah, maybe he's. Yeah, maybe he's not the big bad for season 3.
They need a big bad.
Right.
Like, where is season 3 going? Like, if this all happens, if they get Ahsoka, They go back to Mandalore. They take it back. What's left?
Well, there's also going to be, the more Death Watchy Mandalorians. Maybe
they turn on him.
Maybe some of them come out of the woodwork.
Maybe he takes his helmet off and they turn on him. They're talking about doing all these spin-off shows.
Really?
Yeah, they're talking about doing an Ahsoka show and like a Bo-Katan show.
I know the Obi-Wan show.
Obi-Wan show, but off of Mandalorian. So
okay.
This could totally be wrapped up when they take Mandalore back over. So I feel like I'm missing something. Another big bad. What if Snoke? What if they get Snoke out?
Yeah, roll Snoke out. You could roll, any number of Hutts. Yeah, they're still going to be around. And then there's going to be other Imperial remnants. Eventually First Order is going to start to build up.
So I guess because the pilot, maybe that's the role of these pilots seem to keep showing up everywhere. Maybe that's their role, is to kind of be like, hey guy, come be one of us.
They asked Cara Dune if she wanted to join in with them.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So they asked her, but I mean, maybe that's where they're trying to nudge the whole show, and maybe they go.
Who knows? I mean, there's only 4 episodes left.
4 more episodes.
So
yeah.
It could be setting up a bigger season 3 kind of showdown. But that would kind of betray the whole wolf and cub nature of the show. So I think some of these things could be happening off to the side, and then he only shows up for a simple chunk of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility too. We haven't talked about is maybe Ahsoka gets wrecked. That could explain a lot. Get rid of her character, because
right.
It doesn't make sense in the regular Star Wars timeline to have a Jedi as powerful or
right.
Force wielder as powerful as her not show up in Star Wars movies. Either you take another path, a divergent path, and you just sort of pretend like those movies don't exist, or she doesn't make it. And if she doesn't make it, then the Mando's on his original mission. Mm-hmm. He's got to find another Force Jedi to bring the child
right.
to. That was my point.
I'm intrigued. I don't know where it's going to go, but I think that's part of the fun. I think that's why I liked The Last Jedi so much, was because at the end of that movie, I was like, I have no idea what they're going to do. We
can talk about The Last Jedi for just a bit. I thought, as a standalone movie, it was probably the best Star Wars movie to me, which is probably going to upset a lot of people.
Better than the original trilogy?
I mean, obviously, episode 4, set the stage, but and I have a special place.
For me, it's Empire.
I have a special place for Jedi before the new edits.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the previous edit of Jedi, because that's what I watched at home on my VHS. But the reason that The Last Jedi is the best to me is because of the storytelling and just taking it new places and making you think about things that you normally wouldn't think about, even if it's uncomfortable. When I saw it, I was not happy about it. I was not happy about having to think about animals or warlords sponsoring both factions and but if you do any research on history, you will find that the same group of people has funded multiple sides of wars, and that is a unique concept that people should think about. And from my point of view, I think it's important that you know what's really going on, and they're trying to show that to people, and I think that's pretty important. Also, space. This is getting way out there, conspiracy land, but the way that they interpreted space was more like water. And take that for what you will, but there's the way that she froze when she was in space, the way that she floated.
Right.
The way the graphics in that movie, the way they interpret space, everything looks like water. And there's a reason, there's certain people and belief systems, ancient ones, as above, so below. Take that for what you will. I'm not going to go too far down that road, but to me, it was very illuminating that they would even put that in there. And what they did to Luke is very sad to me. That's the thing that I couldn't quite get over. They could have just did everything could have been exactly the same, and they could have said, Luke, instead of Luke dying, he could have just teleported somewhere, and I would have been happy. I would have been fine. It would have been the best Star Wars movie to me. But instead, he got force tired and expired, I guess. So,
yeah, I'm okay with the idea of him projecting his being millions of miles to another planet for that period of time, and that being the thing that just drains him of his life. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that.
I don't know.
Is it what I would, is it how I would write it? Nope. But I'm okay with it. I thought it was I thought it was a fitting end.
No way. No
and also
way. It's
knowing
so
full
unredeeming because of where they put him in such an old man point of view. And I understand how he got that way, and I understand all of it. It's just that you want him to really come back and to really redeem himself, not like fake projector redeem himself.
I think if he legit showed up, then he could. If he had legit showed up, I don't know that he would have inspired the way he certainly wouldn't have had a tactical advantage, because as soon as his projection shows up, he shoots him with 1 billion laser blasts. This way,
I'm not saying he legit shows up
and
there.
It's also a good Kylo Ren, head game.
It just, to me, it just seems like they're forcing. This is the whole problem I have with the entire sequel trilogy is Rey is all of a sudden just so powerful. She trained for like 5 minutes with a lightsaber. She automatically knows how to fly the ship. Like, they just make her too strong and for no reason without any training. And then they decide to show training in Rise of Skywalker after she didn't even need it. And then, what is she going to learn?
I feel like her force sensitivity, it's established very early that she knows how to fight with her staff.
Okay, stick.
In the first movie, right?
Yeah.
So that and being a pilot, I'm okay with. Like, that makes sense to me. Or at least like they did enough to establish that. And then from a force standpoint, yeah, she has this awakening, if you will, this force awakening. But from what we see from her, all she really does is pull Luke's lightsaber to her a couple of times. And then everything else is just her fighting.
Okay.
At the end,
well, she has the mind control power already, and that was in the first episode. Getting somebody to uncuff you, that's pretty advanced territory. And it comes from nowhere. She has no hint about it. She doesn't have much of a journey. Like, it's just like she's already powerful. She gets even more powerful. And she just...
I don't see her as that powerful. She does the Jedi mind trick on Daniel Craig, and she pulls the lightsaber to her. But aside from that, she's able to mind battle Kylo Ren a little. But he still gets most of what he needs out of her. And I think that speaks to the whole idea of the awakening. You know what I mean? Like, whatever happened in the Force. Now, do I think that was justifiably explained throughout the course of the trilogy? Not a chance.
No, I think JJ's vision of the awakening was not that character. I think it was Finn.
In the last movie, where you've got that other group of former stormtroopers who also awoke, I think it speaks to a more global awakening. But the idea that is never explained.
It's
why
a global
that happens.
awakening, but I think Finn was supposed to represent it, not Rey, and it just got. We like Rey because she's great and female. I don't know. It got so female centric for some reason, and it's just like, I don't have a problem with females. Obviously, I love females.
Has it?
Rogue One was female main character. Rey, what's the other?
Yeah, but Kylo Ren is just as much a main character.
He's not exactly.
It's 1 and 1A. It's not even a. And I think there was so much at the beginning of The Force Awakens of so much misdirection of saying Finn is going to be the Jedi basically, and then having that misdirect, and then the reveal that it turns out it's going to be Rey. I think one that threw off a lot of people because the marketing went in one direction and then it ended up landing in another direction. But I'm okay with that. I'd rather be surprised by movies.
I just think the journey she took, even Kylo Ren's character journey, evolved way more. He went so many different layers of that character has so many layers, and so has gone so many different places. Whereas her character has always been just I'm this kind of person, and I want to do this thing, but I don't really know. And okay,
I don't know. I feel like she started off. She had a strong moral center,
Yeah, which is good.
and a strong sense of doing the right thing. But the whole first movie is her kind of coming to terms with the idea of leaving the life of waiting for her parents to return. And then the second movie is about her wanting to have needing somebody to guide her and have like the teacher. And a little bit of that is in the first movie too. You know, she kind of latches onto Han Solo, and maybe her arc has a lot to do with that, like searching for a parent, because that's the thing that she didn't have.
And
then
I did want to mention
I think
that
there's more to it. There's more to it than just learning the Force and
sure. And
getting good
I
at
thought
it.
the most powerful part of her arc was in Last Jedi when she went into the hole and saw the mirror, and it was herself, and she had to go into herself. I thought that was the greatest message of any movie. And then the next movie, they're like, "No, it's because you're a Palpatine." And I thought that was
that's because they
a
obviously
waste.
like nobody was on the same page.
It was such a
that's-
waste of where they could have took that character. Like, yeah, she could have gone inside and learned the thing. Like, that's what every trope of every piece of media, every hero story, there's always, you have to go inside and find the part of you that can do the next thing. And they just were like, no, it's because you're
Yeah.
a Palpatine. That's why I will be so happy
well,
if they
maybe
decide
that's the-
if they decide to go just a totally another way and just rewrite Star Wars from Mandalorian forward. I will be completely fine and happy, even though I enjoyed that movie.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they've put way too much money into that story, but it could be like a thing with like the prequels where it barely gets referenced,
There is a way,
and when it does, it'll be like, ooh, that's fun.
There's a way. There's a way. You'll see.
Oh, I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. As you know, everybody's doing a multiverse. It could be a
Right?
multiverse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody's got one now. So
The Siege, a lot of good stuff, a lot of plot, a lot of action, a lot of like homages to prior, Star Wars of days past. I liked it. I liked this episode a lot. I thought Carl Weathers did a great job directing.
yeah. Hats
The
off.
cinematography was solid. Yeah, way to go, Carl.
Yeah, that was really great. Really great.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
It did leave me wanting more. This is going to be exciting. Seeing Ahsoka.
Yep.
They're tracking him.
Yep.
They're coming down. So some big battles got to be coming up, and we get to see some Force using. We get to see the child find another Force user. We get to see Bo-Katan again, hopefully, and it should be a great episode next week. So,
Yeah. Looking
thank
forward to
you, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching, and
Yep.
all the things.
And wishing and hoping. Yep.
And we've got some extras for you. Go see the show notes on isthisentertainment.com. I guess that's it. So make sure you
Yeah,
subscribe.
do all the things. Like, subscribe, comment, give us a rate and review.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Sounds great.